Hello and welcome to another Sprues and Brews Battle Report. Today we are in the realm of Akshi with the realm trait of Flaming Missiles. We have got the Relocation Orb scenario from the General's Handbook 2019, and we will have the Sylvaneth using the brand new Battletome facing off against the hordes of Slaanesh. So here we have 1,000 points of Sylvaneth using the new Battletome. What have we got here, Jay?
Okay, so I've chosen the Norroot Glade, which is the casting glade. I've got my General, which is the Tree Lord Ancient. He has the command trait that when a spell is successfully cast and not unbound, he can heal a Sylvaneth unit within 18 inches D3 wounds. He has got the regrowth spell. My other leader is the Branch Wraith down here, who has the Norroot artifact, which means that she can roll 3 dice and choose which 2 dice she wants to keep when she's casting and unbinding. She has the Verdurous Harmony spell, which is one of the new spells in the Sylvaneth Battletome, which lets her restore D3 models to a unit or one Kurnoth Hunter, so that should be quite cool. And then in my battle line, I've got a unit of 5 Tree Revenants, which I've always liked, and they're even better now in the new rulebook, I think, because they can teleport anywhere on the battlefield, so they'll be my objective grabbers. A unit of 10 Dryads, who now get their buffs. It used to be 12 models, it's now 10 models. And then for a bit of muscle in the army, I've added a Tree Lord, which will come down in points, and a unit of 3 Kurnoth Hunters with scythes. My last, I think I had 40 points left at this point, so for my last 40 points I've spent 30 on the new Glade Worm.
That's a funny looking Glade Worm, Jay.
I know, I wish Games Workshop would send us the Glade Worm model, we could use it, but never mind. So yeah, that's going to be the Glade Worm. So the Glade Worm is an endless spell. I think it's a predatory endless spell. On a 3+, it does D3 mortal wounds to an enemy, or heals D3 wounds to a nearby Sylvaneth model.
And here we have 1,000 points of Slaanesh. Quite a fast force, Godseekers, ready to face on the Sylvaneth and all their tree teleporting shenanigans. So we have a Blade Bringer on an Exalted Chariot. She is got the Thrill Seeker trait, so she can run and charge, which is great. She's got the Bindings of Slaanesh and the Hysterical Frenzy spell. She's flanked by 2 Seeker Chariots and 3 units of 5 Seekers. Now they are part of the Seeker Cavalcade battalion, so all these guys can pile in 6 inches, which is pretty scary. And to round up the army, we've got one endless spell, the Dreadful Visage. So hopefully cause some mortal wounds to these tree men. Okay, so we're going to roll off to see who gets which territory. 6 for Slaanesh and a 5 for the Sylvaneth. So I am going to pick this deployment zone. Okay, so we've both got faction-specific scenery. So I put down my Thane here in my territory.
What's the Thane do?
The Thane basically generates more depravity points if I summon something nearby to get a kind of refund.
Okay, right.
I can also sacrifice artifacts to it to get rerolls to hit and wound.
Right, cool.
It doesn't have the biggest effect on the game, but it could be handy if I summon stuff near it. The Sylvaneth player, you get a new mechanic in the army book.
Yes, this is a new allegiance ability for the Sylvaneth. It's a place of power. So basically, after territories have been chosen, before the battle, before armies are set up, I can pick one terrain feature on the battlefield. So it has to be a neutral terrain feature. And basically, Sylvaneth do not have to take battle shock while they're wholly within 6 inches of that piece of terrain. So I've chosen this massive piece, which gives me a big 6-inch bubble around it where I'm immune to battle shock, which might be quite handy. Secondly, you still get the ability to put Wild Woods down. There's some restrictions on it now, so it has to be 1 inch away from enemy territory, 1 inch away from other scenery, and 3 inches away from an objective. So I've placed it over here. The battle plan we're playing, the objective might end up over there, so just in case I can teleport over there.
So we've got the objective in the centre. That is going to shift at the end of each battle round, so we don't really know where it's going to be. As I picked my territory, I get to start deploying first. So we'll be back once the armies are on the table. Okay, so the battlefield is set up ready to fight. The mat is from Game Mat EU, who kindly supplied this for us for our battle reports. The scenery is from Games Workshop, and the armies are painted by ourselves. So the Sylvaneth forces have deployed quite securely in their half of the table, I think, there.
I've tried to take advantage of the battle shock bubble and lined up for an assault on the middle objective. I have a feeling I'm going second, so we'll see how I get on. And the Tree Revenants are on the board. They can teleport around the board at the start of the movement phase. Really, I just don't want them to get charged in the first turn, but we'll see.
Is there anything kept in the...
Yes, there is. In the realm route, so I can deploy... For every a unit I put on the table, I can keep one unit behind in the realm routes. So I've left the Kernel Hunters off the board. They can come in within 6 inches of a wildwood during the movement phase.
Okay, well for the Slaanesh forces, I've gone for a pretty straightforward deployment. Pretty much lining up a hashtag charge everything. Chariots in the centre to get that objective and kill anything stupid enough to get within range of it. And then Seekers, they with their movement they can get anywhere on the table pretty much. So scattered across, I can intercept any Sylvaneth that pop up and be able to get some reach to anywhere the objective moves to. So with me finishing deployment first with a mighty 2 drops, I think I'm going to take the first turn. So good luck.
Yes.
And we'll see how the battle goes. So on to Slaanesh turn 1. In the hero phase, I have already got 1 command point because I've got the battalion. I get an additional command point for my turn. I've not really got any abilities I can spend them on. Magic wise, I'm out of range of a lot of my offensive abilities. So what I'm going to do is cast Mystic Shield on my Bladebringer, which goes off on an 8.
Okay. I will attempt to dispel it, unbind it with my Tree Lord Ancient. The Branch Wraith is out of range, unfortunately, so it's going to have to be the Tree Lord Ancient on a 9, so stops it.
Okay, so into the movement phase, Slaanesh is lightning quick, so I'm going to start moving up the battlefield. These guys are going to run. They get to move 14 inches and can run and charge. So that is 7 inches, so that's a 21-inch move. The Seeker Chariots, they're also going to move up as well. I'm going to try, they're probably a bit far away to do a charge. I don't think I physically can because Jay put his guys a little bit back from the 24-inch mark. So these guys are just going to move up 12 inches. And as is this chariot. In fact, this chariot's going to run.
Wow,
yeah,
nice
18 inches. The Bladebringer is going to move on to the objective, so he's got that. So the other Seeker unit is also going to run, just try and get a decent position, try and intercept where this orb is going to go. So they've got 10 inches, giving them a ridiculous 24-inch move. And these guys, the rear guard, are just going to move up just to keep an eye out for any Sylvaneth that are going to pop up later in the battle.
So is that the end of your movement phase,
Matt? The movement, yeah. So some aggressive moves from there. Not the most aggressive Slaaneshi movement phase, but yeah, gets us in a position to take on the Sylvaneth. Okay, so on to the charge phase. There's only really one charge I'm going to make, and it is the Seekers down here. So they are going to attempt to charge, see where they can get in. God Seekers get +1 inch to their charges, which is awesome. So that is an 11-inch charge. They are going to go thundering in to those Dryads. So as I've made 1 charge, I get D3 depravity points. 2 depravity points. So into combat, the Seekers are going to see what they can do to these Dryads and thin out the defence that's around these tree men. So they're going to go with their piercing claws. These are hitting on 3s. So we got 1 additional hit for rolling a 6, and then these are wounding on 4s. Okay, so that is 5 at -1 rend.
Okay, so the Dryads get +1 armour save for being in the unit at 10 or more, and -1 for your rend, so it's back to 5+. So save 2, so 3
damage. Poison tongues, again they're hitting on 3s, any 6 is doing an additional hit, and they are wounding on 4s. That is 5 save to make, no rend.
So 4+ save, 3 more down. So I'm going to pile in 3 inches. So I'm going to get 3 attacks there. So it's 2 attacks each. They're hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s. Not bad. And wounding on 4s. So 2 wounds, no rend.
So we've got a 5+ save. And that is 1 wound on a Seeker. So at the end of the turn, obviously the Dryads are safe from battle shock, which is lucky because they lost a load of models there, and it's -1 near the Slaanesh demons as well.
Oh right, okay.
I've got 1 point for having the objective. Obviously, if Jay can get it in his turn 1, however, he will get 3 points. So let's see what happens here.
Alright, cool. Well, that was a good first turn. Seekers are fast. So
yeah,
it's like,
they're pretty quick.
yeah, they're good. I'm actually quite impressed with how well the Dryads did, but I was lucky with the Battleship test. So anyway, going into my hero phase, the first thing I do is I get 1 command point. And then I have got a couple of hero abilities. So the Tree Lord, Ancient, now has an ability once per battle. He can put a Wiccan Wildwood down, wholly within 18 inches. So I'm going to put a Wiccan Wildwood down here, I think.
And like magic, a bunch of trees appear.
The first thing I'm going to do, I think, is summon the Glade Worm with the Branch Wraith. She has the Gnarl Root artifact, which lets her roll 3 dice and choose which 2 she wants to use.
Oh, that's cool.
So here we go. So I'll use the 2 5s to make a 10.
Yep. I'm not going to try and stop that because that's a high cast.
So this goes down wholly within 6 inches of the caster, down here, and then moves 8 inches. So it will land just in front of the Tree Lords. So that's that. The second spell I'm going to cast is Awaken the Woods from the Tree Lord Ancient. So this has a range of 30 inches. I'm going to cast it on those wildwoods to my right. It has a casting value of 6. It's gone off on an 8.
Can I try and stop that with Herald? She does indeed stop
She
it.
stops it. Okay, so at the start of the movement phase, the Tree Revenants can use their waypipes to teleport anywhere on the battlefield within 9 inches of over 9 inches away from an enemy. So I'm going to move these away from them Seekers over there and put them down here. I'm assuming these guys can't retreat and charge.
They cannot retreat and charge, no.
So
That's assuming there's any Dryads left, though.
yes, I'm going to move this Tree Lord a couple of inches this way, so he's still in range with his Doom Tendril staff against that, but is 3 inches away from these guys to get a charge in. My Tree Lord is just an inch short of this chap here to get a shot on, so I'm going to move him an inch forward to get a shot off on that guy there. Okay, my Branch Wraith is going to retreat away from this combat. That's going to be getting quite messy down here, I think, so I'm going to move her over here. Okay, so at the end of my movement phase, the Kernel Hunters who I held back at deployment have come down in this wildwood here, 9 inches away from these Seekers. I'm going to try a charge this turn, but I'm not too worried if they don't make it. They're in a good position there to take a charge. They get the +1 cover, they can reroll saves, so I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to start with the Tree Lord first. He's going to shoot his Strangle Roots at this chariot here. He gets 5 attacks. He's hitting on a 2+, and he can reroll 1s because of the Gnarl Root Glade. Lets you reroll 1s if you're within, I think it's within 6 inches or 12 inches of a wizard. So he's looking for 2s, rerolling 1s. So 5 hits. He's wounding on a 3. So that's 3 wounds. It's Ren -1. He doesn't benefit from the Realm ability, which makes it Ren -2. So just Ren -1.
So that's a 6+ save. Made none of them.
That's 1 damage. I'm going to try and finish that chariot off with the Tree Lord Ancient's Doom Tendril Staff. So he only gets 1 attack. It's hitting on a 2 again. He can reroll 1s because of Gnarl Root. So it's hit. It's wounded on a 3. It's wounded on a 5. That is Ren -2 now. Ren -1 normally, -1 because of the Realm ability.
So you need a 6 to save this.
Oh, close. That one does D6 damage. 3 damage, just enough.
Just enough to kill it.
Okay, so we're going to start the charge phase. The Tree Lord Ancient is going to try and go in against these Seekers, so I need a 3. Yeah, he's got a 9, so I shall move him in here. And then finally, we're going to try a longbow charge with the Kernel Hunters. Now these have a really cool ability, Envoys of the Everqueen I think it's called. Basically they count as being within range of your general all the time, and they extend a 12-inch bubble around it, so you can use command abilities through them. They're like synapse creatures really for Tyranids.
That's really cool.
So we need a 9. Or 7. I'm not going to use my command point to reroll that charge, I'm going to leave them there. Okay, so well, at the start of the combat phase, the Tree Lords, all variety Tree Lords, their Stomp ability has changed now. Basically, you pick a unit within 3 inches, and on a 4+, that unit fights at the end of the combat phase. So the Tree Lord Ancient is going to try and stomp these Seekers. He does, so the Seekers go at the end of the combat phase. The Tree Lord Ancient gets 3 attacks with his sweeping blows. These are hitting on 3s, and I get to reroll 1s for the Glade Root, Gnarl Root, so that's 3 hits. They're wounding on 3s as well. So that's 3 wounds, Ren -1.
Goes through the armour.
It just does d6 damage. So I've done a lot of damage.
My goodness, that was a good roll.
Okay, cool. So I'm quite happy with the end of turn 1. We killed these Seekers on the left flank, although I'm assuming there may be more coming at some point during the game. The Killer Hunters failed to charge, but I think they're in a good position to contest the objectives in that side of the board later on. So that's it. No victory points for me. So we're at the start of Battle Round 2. Do we roll?
The end of this turn now.
So at the end of Battle Round 1, we roll to see where the objective moves to. Basically, on a 1 to 3, it's going to swing around this way and land on this shrine here. On a 4+, it's going to swing in the opposite direction over there. So, do you want me to roll this one, Matt?
Yeah, let's see where it goes.
Okay, I'll roll it down here.
Hoping for a 4 to 6.
I want a 3. No.
4. So the objective moves over here. So going into the priority roll for the second battle round, I don't know which way to go here. It's a 5 for the Slaanesh and a 6 for the Sylvaneth. Jason,
Okay.
do you want to go first or second?
Okay, so after much deliberation, I decided to take the first turn in Battle Round 2. So I'm risking getting double turned in turn 3, but I think if I don't take this opportunity to move a load of my forces over near that objective, I'm going to struggle to get over there at all if Matt's clever with his placement of his models. And I think I can do a bit of damage here actually if I can get the Kurnos into charge. So yeah, I'm going first.
So with me going second, I get to move the endless spell. So basically just going to move this back over there out of the way.
Okay, so I'm going to kick off the hero phase. I'm going to try and cast a spell with the branch rate. This is one of the new spells, Verdant Blessing. It's a casting value of 7, and basically I can set a wildwood up within 24 inches of her. So she has the artifact that lets me roll 3 dice and choose the 2 I like. So it goes off on an 8.
Okay, I'm going to try and stop that with my Herald. Nope.
Okay, so the woods come down. So for my next ability, I'm going to cast Mystic Shield on the Tree Lord Ancient. So Mystic Shield's a 6, isn't it?
Mystic Shield's a 6.
Oh, not gone off. I'm going to use the Walk the Spirit Paths. Armour Tree Lords have this ability, so at the start of the movement phase, if they're wholly within 6 inches of a wildwood, I can move them to another wildwood. So I'm going to move this fella. Okay, so the Tree Lord Ancient has Spirit Walked over here. He's just within range of the objective to cap the objective, and I've got range to shoot these Seekers in the shooting phase. So the Tree Revenants have popped up over there just to get more bodies on the objective.
That's a really cool ability, being able to teleport 9 inches away from anything, anywhere on the board.
Yeah, it's very good.
We've got 2 pretty mobile armies here, really.
Yeah.
That's it. I think there was a lot of concerns when the Battletome for Sylvaneth was initially released that they would lose a bit of their manoeuvrability, but I think it's increased myself. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to navigate the realm route. So in the Sylvaneth Battletome now, 1 unit per turn can use this ability. It used to be any number of units per turn. Basically, a Sylvaneth unit within 6 inches of a wildwood can move to within 6 inches of a separate wildwood.
Popped over to the wood on the far side.
My Tree Lord is going to be a bit brave, and he's going to march towards these chariots over here. So he can move 6 inches, the Tree Lord. He's a bit nippier than the old Tree Lord Ancient. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to move these Dryads into these woods. They can stay on this side of the battlefield just in case the objective comes back around here. So they've got a 7-inch move. They're going to get right inside the woods. They're also a bit tankier inside the woods. Right inside the woods, actually, but within 6 inches of the shrine. I'm also going to move the Kernel Hunters 5 inches towards these Seekers. Hopefully get a charge off this turn, so they should be 4 inches away. I'm going to start the shooting phase off. The Tree Lord is going to shoot this chariot here. He gets 5 attacks, hitting on 2 still, but he doesn't get his reroll this time. So this is with the Strangle Roots. So all hits and wounding on 3s. Oh cool, so 4 wounds at -1 rend.
Okay, so that is 5 plus saves. I've saved 2 of them, so it's taken 2 damage.
And my last shooting unit is going to be Tree Lord Ancient. He's going to have a crack at these Seekers here. So he gets 1 attack, it's hitting on a 2. He rerolls 1s because of the Gnarl Root Glade bonus. So he's hit, it's wounded on a 3. It's wounded, and it is Ren -2.
Yep, goes through their armour.
So it just does d6 damage. It does 6 damage.
Oh!
That is 3 dead Seekers.
So at the beginning of the charge phase with the Kernel Hunters, you have to decide whether you're going to use their deep roots, which lets them reroll saves, but then they can only pile in 1 inch, so we're not doing that. So at the start of the charge phase, we're just going to charge these guys. So they need a 4, 6, so that will do me, so they're going in. Okay, and I'm going to try and take the initiative while this chariot's wounded. I'm going to try and charge the tree lord in. So the tree lord needs a charge of 7, I think we worked out, to get in. So he's out of range of any command abilities. He's in 8 inches. So yes, I will take this opportunity to go in. So the tree lords have an ability at the start of the combat phase. They can pick a unit within 3 inches, and on a 4+, they force them to strike last.
Now, unfortunately for Jay, the Slaanesh characters also have the same ability. It's a 6-inch range on a 4+ to go last. So let's see. We'll go with the tree man first and see if he stops that chariot.
So the tree lord is going to try and stop. He does.
So that's going last. However, on a 4+, the tree man is also going last. It does not.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the Kernoff hunters. They're going to pile in 3 inches. Unfortunately, poor placement from the branch wraith. So in the Gnarl Root battalion, all Sylvaneth units within 12 inches of a wizard can reroll 1s to hit. Unfortunately, the Kernoff hunters are outside of 12 inches of the branch wraith there. So these are hitting on 3s, apart from the Huntsmaster who's hitting on 2s. So I'll do the regular Kernoff first. So looking for 3s.
Ooh.
So only 3 got through, and then the Huntsmaster is hitting on 2s. So all those hits, that's 6 hits. These are wounded on 3s. That's good, and that is -2 rend.
Yeah, that goes through their armour.
They do D3 damage each. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Yep,
11. Good work, Kernoffs. Okay, so the tree lord's going next. He gets 4 attacks with his sweeping blows. These are hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. No rerolls for him, so he's hit 3 times. He's wounded on 3s. That's 2 wounds at -1 rend.
So that's a 5+ save. Makes 1 of them.
And it does D6 damage, 3 damage.
Got 1 wound left.
1 wound left. Finally, he gets his massive impaling talon attack. So this is 1 attack hitting on a 3. It's missed.
Okay, so the Seeker Chariot is very, very lucky to be alive here. So it's going to try and do some retaliation on this tree man. 4 attacks with the whips, they're hitting on 3s and wounding on 4s. So it's hit with all of them. And wounded with 3 of them, that is -1 rend.
So this is a 3+ save normally, 4+ now with a rend. He's okay.
And then 3 attacks with the piercing claws, 3s and 4s. The 6 an additional hit. And 4s. 1 wound, -1 rend.
4+ save again. No, that's gone through.
1 damage.
1 damage.
And then poison tongues, 3s and 4s. Another hit. And 4s. That is 3 saves to make, no rend.
3+. 2 of them are okay, 1 get through.
Okay, so battle shock for the Seekers. They're bravery 10, so they can't fail this. However, on a 1, I get D6 Seekers back.
Close.
Okay, so the end of the battle round, end of my turn, sorry, battle round 2, I get 1 victory point for having this objective over here. Gutted to leave the chariot alive, 1 wound. I wanted to kill that. I know how fast these units are, and in a game like this where it's about speed to get onto objective, that's might come back to haunt me. That, never mind.
So on to Matt, turn 2.
So on to my hero phase, I get a command point, not that I've got a lot to spend them on. I'm going to cast some magic though. I'm going to cast the endless spell, Dreadful Visage. Goes off on a 7. That is a 7.
Okay, I'll try and stop it. My branch wraith is going to use her glade artifact, so she rolls 3 dice in casting and unbinding attempts, and I can take away the dice I want.
It's not enough. The Dreadful Visage is down. It also gets to move 8 inches and can fly, so it's going to go over here. I then pick a unit within 6 inches of it. Roll 6 dice for the closest other unit within 6 inches. I'm going to select that unit of Revenants. Each 4+ is 1 mortal wound. That is 3 mortal wounds on the Revenants.
Ouch.
And every unit within 12 inches is also -1 bravery. All Slaanesh units are +1 bravery. Okay, as there's not many Slaanesh models left, I'm going to have to commit the Blade Bringer in to try and do some damage and generate some depravity here. So it's going to run, because it can run in charge with its artifact. It is going 14 inches. So the Seeker Chariot is going to retreat from combat because it can retreat and charge, which is amazing.
Boo!
The Seekers are going to run because, again, they can run and charge, so there's no point not doing it. They are going far.
Who needs teleportation shenanigans?
23 inches.
So opening up the charge phase, the Chariot is going to go first with a 8-inch charge. Okay, so the Seekers are also going to charge 5, 6, 7, 8 inches as well. Okay, so the Chariot is going to charge as well. It's nearly dead, so we may as well try and do some impact hits on stuff. 8 inches. 9 inches.
Going back in on the tree lord.
You can get within half an inch there. It's going back in on the tree lord.
No.
So the Chariot on a 2+ does D3 mortal wounds to the tree man. Yep. 1 mortal wound. Okay, so the Chariot with the Herald on it, every enemy unit within an inch of it, so that'll be the tree man and the revenants. On a 1 nothing happens, on a 2 to 4 they take D3 mortal wounds, on a 5+ they take D6 mortal wounds. So the tree man doesn't take any. The revenants take D3 mortal wounds.
Which is not to kill him.
2 mortal wounds.
That kills him.
So as 3 units made a charge, I also get D6 depravity points. 2 depravity. So at the start of the combat phase, the Exalted Chariot does a few tricks as well. On a 4+, you can force that tree man to fight last. The tree man is fighting last. In addition, on a 2+, it suffers D3 mortal wounds, and I get an additional attack for every weapon on my profile. Yep, so he takes D3 mortal wounds. 1 mortal wound.
I've got 2 stomps to make, so I'll stomp with the Tree Lord Ancient. He's going to pick the... it doesn't make much difference over here actually because he's going last anyway, so I'll pick the Seekers. On a 4+, no, so they're not stomped. And then likewise over here, this Tree Lord's going to pick this Chariot. Yes, so this Chariot's going last. Okay, so I have another ability I can use at the start of the combat phase, which he might need here. So this is a Gnarl Root ability, the Earth Defends. I can use it at the start of the combat phase. If I do so, pick 1 friendly Gnarl Root unit wholly within 12 inches of a Gnarl Root hero, and basically you get a 6+ ward save against mortal wounds and normal wounds. So I'm going to use command point to activate this on the Tree Lord Ancient to try and keep him alive.
So we're going to attack with the Bladebringer first and see what damage I can do to this Tree Lord Ancient. He needs to go down basically, and I've got 3 points here. So it has got an extra attack on all its weapons because it did its Grinding Blades ability. So 7 attacks with its whips, hitting on 3s. That is a lot of 3+s. It is wounded on 4s. That is 4 wounds at -1 rend.
So he 3+ save takes him to a 4+. He saved them all.
Okay. Then he gets 10 attacks. 10 attacks with its Piercing Claws, hitting on 3s. Each 6 is an additional hit, so there's another 2 hits there. And it is wounding on 4s. That is 2 saves to make it -1 rend.
4+. 1's got through. How much damage?
1 damage.
1 damage. He gets his 6+ save, which he doesn't make.
I get 1 depravity points. And then finally he's going to attack with his Poison Tongues, hitting on 3s and wounding on 4s. That is 1 more save to make no rend.
So 3+ save. He's okay. Okay, so I can't attack with the Tree Lord Ancient yet, although I'm surprised he's actually still standing. He's not just sawdust now. So the Tree Lord is going to attack. He gets 3 attacks now because he's gone down a profile. So he's hitting on 3s. He's got 2 hits. He can't reroll the 1s because there's no heroes, wizards nearby. He's wounded on 3s. It's 2 wounds at rend -1.
So 5+ save. Save 1 of them.
Oh, D6 damage.
Goes in.
Yeah, 1 damage. Just.
Okay, so the Seekers are going to pile in next because if they don't, the tree man's just going to go into them. So let's see what damage I can do here. Hopefully they do a bit better than their master sitting next to them. Luckily they do get quite a few attacks. So we have got 4 attacks with Piercing Claws, hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s. That's not so good. And wounding on 4s. That is 1 wound at -1 rend.
4+. He's okay.
And then the Poison Tongues, hitting on 3s and wounding on 4s. 1 wound, no rend.
3+. He's okay. I cannot believe this Tree Lord Ancient is still in 1 piece. And not just in 1 piece, Matt, he's still on his full wounds profile. So I need to kill those 2 Seekers in order to keep claiming this objective and prevent you from getting free. So I'm going to direct all my attacks against those Seekers. So we're going first with the sweeping blows. He still gets 3 attacks. These are hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. I can reroll 1s because of Gnarl Root and he's a wizard. So reroll the 1. So 3 hits. I need 3s to wound. So 2 wounds got through at Ren -1.
-1, so that gives me a 6+ save. I saved one of them.
D6 damage, so what do I need? A 4+?
Yep.
That'll do it.
Okay, so at the end of the Slaanesh turn, it's not gone great. If this guy'd be able to hit and wound, that might be a dead free man. Unfortunately, I haven't got this objective. So
when you show me his war scroll, I was worried.
It should be good.
Yeah.
He just fluffed all his attacks. So we're going to see where the objective moves to. On a 1 to 3, it's moving this way. On a 4 to 6, it's going deeper into those woods.
Into the Awakened Wildwoods. So, do you want to roll this one, Matt?
Yeah, let's see where it goes. It is moving this way. That's not the end of the world, but Jay has got a guy on it. So in the third battle round, let's see who gets the priority. I have got a 2.
Versus my 3.
Do you want to go first or second, Jay?
I think I am best going first to try and do something about that chariot because I think I got off in that round lightly. So I will take the first round.
This endless spell is going to fly over this and do some damage to the tree man, hopefully. I roll 66. Every 4+ to the mortal wound. That is 4 mortal wounds to the tree man.
Right, so in my turn I get 1 command point. And then I'm going to go into the hero phase and cast some spells. So I'm going to start with the Branch Wraith. She's going to cast Rouse to Wrath to try and bring some Dryads down. So this goes off on a 7. She gets to roll 3 dice and choose the ones she doesn't want. So I'll take away the 4. I've got 9.
Okay.
So I brought a unit of 10 Dryads, some reinforcements into this wildwood here. They may move in the movement phase, I'm not sure yet. So this is the critical spell. I need to get this one off. This is Regrowth on the Tree Lord. So this goes off on a 5. It goes off on a 7.
The Herald is going to try and stop that.
Phew.
Doesn't stop it.
So this is interesting then. So he gets D6 wounds back. So he restores 3 wounds, which takes him to 9, I believe. And then his command trait, it's the Gnarl Root command trait. Basically, if you cast a spell and it's successful and not unbound, he can pick a Sylvaneth unit wholly within 18 inches of himself and restore D3 wounds. So he's going to pick himself, obviously, and restore D3 wounds. He gets another wound back from that ability, which takes him back up to top bracket. Yeah. Okay, so that Tree Lord, that was a lucky escape. He's back up to full wounds. I'm going to use the Spirit Paths to move him.
Not quite full wounds.
Oh, a full bracket, sorry.
Yeah, full bracket, yeah.
So I'm going to move him. Okay, so he's going to come here and defend this objective as best he can with this fellow Tree Lord. The Kernel Hunters are going to get the sprint on and try and run back towards this objective in the middle. They run 6 inches, great. So that is an 11-inch move for them. Let's move to there. So I've done my Spirit Walk. I'm now going to do the Navigate the Realm routes. So I'm going to move these Dryads from this wood over to this wood. Next objective, just to get bodies on the objective, to stop Matt charging in, killing everything, and then claiming the objective. I'll move the Tree Lord up a few inches to support any combats that might happen around here with his stomp. Lastly, I've realised I've left the Branch Wraith on her own out there, so she's going to leg it. She legs it 4 inches on top of her movement 7, so that's 11 inches, so it puts her around here. So, yeah, it's my shooting phase now. I'm not going to do any shooting. My thinking in here is I don't really want to do any wounds on this thing to give Matt any depravity points. So I'm going to let Matt bring the fight to me if he wants to in his turn 3. So that will be the end of my turn, that will, Matt. I'm not doing anything else in turn 3.
So that's 1 point to you.
1 point.
Okay, so going into my turn 3, I get another command point. I've got 4 of them now, I think, so not a lot to use with them, but they're handy just in case we get something off.
Shame you can't sell them like in Triumph and Treachery.
Yeah, maybe that's the option. I am going to open with some magic though. I'm going to use Hysterical Frenzy on the Dryads
Tell me what this spell does, Matt.
So Hysterical Frenzy, I roll a dice for each model within the unit. For each 6, the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds.
That's a brilliant spell. That's really good against hordes.
So trying to generate some depravity here. So it goes off on a 7. It does not go off.
Another lucky escape for the Sylvaneth there, I think.
Okay, so after much deliberation, I don't because Jay stacked his things quite tight over here. She'd kill whatever she charges, but I think there's a lot of stuff that could potentially kill her coming back, and it's not worth committing her just yet. I can't get there to point this turn. What I can do, however, is kill the branch wraith that is realised her mistake and is trying to run away. Unfortunately, I think the chariot can easily outrun her. She's got a movement 10 and she can run and charge. So we're going to run and see how far she can get to you. 16 inches, so she can essentially move 3 inches away from the Sylvaneth caster. It's a charge phase, but before I charge in, apparently there's some sneaky wood shenanigans that happen.
Yeah, this might be backfiring me though. So basically, the new rules for the Awakened Wildwoods, it used to be if you run or charge through a Wildwood on a 1, that model is slain. It didn't apply to heroes or monsters. In the new rules, now at the start of every charge phase, you roll a dice for every unit within 1 inch of a Wildwood, and on a 6 they take D3 mortal wounds. So this, I think it's slightly better rule this time because it can now affect monsters and heroes, and it can affect them every turn, not just the turns they run and move through. Unfortunately, Slaanesh probably gain more from this rule than they lose because this potentially could be the 3 depravity points for Matt. So good. Doesn't go off. It goes off on a 6.
And on that, she can't fail this charge. 6 inches. Okay, so when it completes its charge, there's a chance that you take some mortal wound. On a 1, nothing happens. On a 2 to 4, you take D3. On a 5+, you take D6. Right, it's D3 mortal wounds. She takes 3 mortal wounds.
Ouch.
Gaining me 3 depravity, putting me on a total of 8. So at the start of the combat phase, on a 4+, the branch wraith fights last. It doesn't really make much difference here. No, she doesn't, but I mean, I'm fighting first anyway. Also, the pungent soul scent of the chariot kicks in. On a 2+, it suffers D3 mortal wounds, so this could well kill it before we even get to combat.
Yep.
It's a 1. She's still okay.
Oh.
Okay, so as the chariot has got the bindings of Slaanesh, I get to roll 2d6. If I roll over her movement, she's -1 to hit, and if I roll over her wound, she takes D3 mortal wounds. That is not over her movement, but it's over her wounds characteristics, so she takes D3 mortal wounds. 2 mortal wounds, which I think is enough to kill her.
That's enough to kill her.
So that's another 2 wounds core, so that puts me on 10 depravity points now. And that is the end of my turn 3. Don't get the point, however, I have dealt with that pesky caster. So I actually forgot when it completes a charge, because of my Godseeker's ability, I get an additional D3 depravity points. So I'm on 11 depravity.
Okay, so that's the end of turn 3. I'll roll now, Matt, to see where the objective moves to. On a 1, 2, 3, it comes this way. On a 4, 5, 6, it goes back the way it came.
Either of these is pretty good for you. I mean, if it comes here, I've got a chance of sneaking a point, maybe.
Yeah. 2. So it comes this way.
So going into battle round 4, Jay's currently on 2 points, I'm on 1 point.
It's been a low scoring game.
It has been, but yeah, this is it. Now who can get the priority? So I got a 5, Jay got a 6. Do you want to go first or second?
Okay, I've decided I'm going to go second, Matt. I'm going to try and deny you this double turn on the last turn. Okay, so I'm going second, so I'm going to move the Endless Spells. Unfortunately, the range on the Glade Worm is quite short, only 1 inch, so I'm just going to move this up 8 inches to get a bit closer next turn, perhaps. And in the corner there, as Matt's rightly pointed out, I can use that Slaanesh spell to do some damage to the Slaanesh. At first, I was thinking that's a bit of an odd spell because the Sylvaneth one doesn't do any damage to Sylvaneth, but you want to be taking damage, so you can use that to generate depravity points yourself. Yeah. So, Matt, can you just move that 8 inches as far away from your chariot as possible?
Okay, so going into my turn 4, and there's not a lot I can do here, but I can potentially get some more heralds down to just try and do a coordinated strike in the final turn. To get another command point.
How many command points is that now, Matt?
4, 5 command points, I think I'm on now. So I think what I'm going to need to do is cast some magic. I'm just out of range of those dryads, which are the prime target for this spell, but I'll take a punt at the Kernoth Hunters. Just need to cause a couple of mortal wounds just to get my depravity up, to get, you know, maybe a Keeper Secret if I'm really lucky. But yeah, let's have a look. So this goes off on a 7. That is a 9.
I will attempt to unbind it with my Tree Lord Ancient. I'll just check that he's definitely in range. I think he is. Yeah, we're well in range there. So, what do I need? A 10?
10.
Nope, not done it.
Okay, so I roll the dice for each model in the unit. There's 3 of them. Any 6s are D3 mortal wounds. No, unlucky.
However, Matt, because you are within 1 inch of an awakened wildwood, on a 5+, the wood comes alive. Now then, trees, if you are true friends of the Sylvaneth, stay asleep. Good.
Okay, so into the movement phase. At best, at this point, I think I can get a draw. It's going to be very unlikely though, so I think I'm just going to go hashtag charge everything and see what I
Hashtag
can
charge
kill.
everything.
So she's going to run because she may as well.
You're going to give her an opportunity to
15
redeem
inches.
herself.
Okay, so into the movement phase, I'm going to spend 10 depravity points to get a Seeker Chariot down to just try and do a bit more damage to these guys. So it's the start of the charge phase, but before I make my charges, the Kernoths get to do something.
Yeah, so they have an ability where they can put their roots into the ground. It gives them the ability to re-roll saves, but they can only pile in 1 inch, which isn't so bad on the sides because they've got the 2 inch range. So they're definitely doing that this turn.
Okay, so we will go in with the chariot here. That is a 12-inch
Whoa.
charge.
That's good.
He's going wherever he wants.
It's going to go there to hit everything.
That's a handy chariot-sized hole in the Sylvaneth battle line there.
When it completes its charge, on a 1, no damage, 2 to 4, D3 mortal wounds, 5 plus D6 mortal wounds. So the Kernoths take D3 mortal wounds. So that is 3 mortal wounds. Put me on 4 depravity. The Dryads take D6 mortal wounds.
Ouch.
That is 1 mortal wound there.
Phew.
I'm on 5 depravity. And the Tree Man also takes D6 mortal wounds.
This is bad.
5 mortal wounds on the Tree Man.
Takes him to 8 wounds suffered.
And puts me on 10 depravity. The second chariot is going to try a longbow charge as well. 5 inches. That is not enough. I'm going to use one of my mini command points to re-roll that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches.
That won't be enough.
9
You're 9
inches
inches
away.
away from me, don't you, when you came down?
Of course, yeah. Oh well, that one can't get in, but this has done a lot of mortal wounds when it's gone in. Because I have made a charge, I get D3 depravity points. 2 depravity points put me on 12 depravity. So at the start of the combat phase I can do a few things. I can try and make a unit fight last. I am going to make the Kernoth Hunters fight last on a 4+. Yep, the Kernoth Hunters are fighting last. In addition to this, each enemy unit within 1 inch on a 2+ takes D3 mortal wounds. For each 2+, I get +1 attack to all my weapons. So the Kernoth Hunters, nope, they're fine. The Dryads they take D3 mortal wounds. Another mortal wound there. I'm on 13 depravity. And the Tree Lord takes D3 mortal wounds. He takes 2 mortal wounds.
He is nearly dead.
And I'm on 15 depravity.
Right, you got a lot of depravity in one turn there. And finally, at the start of the combat phase, I get to stomp the ground with the Tree Lord. So on a 4+, that chariot is fighting last. He is, which has done me a favour. I also get another ability that I can use at the start of the combat phase for 1 command point. This is the Gnarl root one. This is the Earth Shields. So I'm going to pick. Now then, do I try and keep the Tree Lord alive or the Kernoth Hunters alive? I'm going to try and keep the. Well, I'm attacking with everything there anyway, aren't I? So I'm going to try. I'm going to use it on the Tree Lord. I'm going to attack with the Tree Lord first. He gets 1 attack now with his sweeping blow. It's still hitting on a 3, and he can reroll 1s. So it's hit. It's wounded on a 3. It's not wounded. And then he gets his massive impaled talon, which is now still wounding on a 3. It's not wounded. So that's him done. And then it's the Dryads who can pile in 3 inches, so they should all be able to get in. Okay, so the Dryads are going next, so they're hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s, re-rolling 1s. So that is 3 wounds, no rend on them, Matt.
No rend, so it's got a 4+ save. It saves 2 of them, it takes 1 wound, which is another depravity point, putting me on 16 depravity.
Wow, you got more depravity points in 1 turn than you had in at least.
Yeah, ideally this is what I should have had early in the game, but you were just far enough from me to stop this from happening. Okay, so I was umming and ahhing about doing some damage to these Dryads for some easy depravity points, but I think I need to kill a tree man. That eliminates my kind of major targets then. So he's going to do his flensing whips on the tree man. Normally has 6 attacks, it'll be 8 attacks because of the charge. And then everything else on them, which is a lot of attacks. In the region of 20 odd attacks. So we'll do the flensing whip first on the Tree Lord Ancient, is it? Tree Lord.
Tree Lord.
Hitting on 3s. Every 6 counts as an additional hit, so there's 2 free hits there. This is wounding on 4s. So that is 2 wounds at -1 rend.
So 4+ save. He's lost 1. He gets a 6. Is it 1 damage?
1 damage, yeah.
So he gets a 6+ save against that, which he's not made. So he's got 1 wound left.
And that's another depravity point, putting me on 17. Okay, and then the other attacks, we've got 10 attacks with we've got 11 attacks with piercing claws. So 5, 10, 11 piercing claws on the Kurnoth, hitting on 3s. The 6 becomes another hit, and wounding on 4s. That's better. So that is 4, 5, 6, 7 at -1.
7 at -1, so these go to a 5+. None of them, but they do get to re-roll them. That's only 1 save though, 6 wounds.
1 damage each.
So that's 2 on him and 4 on this guy.
So that is 23 depravity I'm on at the moment. And then his final lot of attacks, it's 10 attacks with the poison tongues. This is hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s. This doesn't have any rend though, this one. So that misses and that misses. However, the 2 6s become additional hits. And then wounding on 4s. This is what it should have done last turn. So that is 5 saves to make, no rend.
So 4+ save. And then a 4+ save again. So they're okay. That was a much better charge, Matt.
Yeah, she did a job this time.
I can't believe how much depravity you've got. Right, well, it's my combat phase now. The Kurnoth Hunters are the only things left to attack, so there's only 2 of them left now. The Huntsmaster is hitting on 2s, and the regular guy is hitting on 3s. So I will go with the regular guy first. He's looking for 3s, re-rolling 1s. Good. And then I get 3 attacks from the Huntsmaster. This one's hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s. So they're all hit, 6 hits. And then he needs 3s to wound. So that's 4 wounds at rend -2.
So that's a 6+ save. Saves 1 of them.
D3 damage each. 3, 4, 5, 6 damage.
So 7 taken, and I get another 6 depravity.
At the end of the combat phase, I can do a trample underfoot. So this has changed now. So basically you pick one enemy unit within 1 inch of the Kurnoth Hunters and roll 1 dice for each model in this unit, so 2 dice. On a 4+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. So 2 dice, 2 mortal wounds.
So I'm on 9 taken, she's got 1 wound left. I get another 2 depravity. Putting me on 25, 20, no, more than that. Lots.
Okay, so Battle Shock. The Kurnoth Hunters lost 1 model, but they can't fail, they're bravery 7. The Dryads are only bravery 6, and they lost 2 models, so they can fail on a 3+. So I'm going to burn my last command point to use Inspiring Presence to keep them in the fight.
So at the end of my turn 4, I'm still on 1 point. I've got a lot of depravity, but that, you know, I need to survive another turn, and it's now Jay's turn 4. I think he's got this, but I could be very, very lucky.
In my hero phase, I get 1 command point, which I'm going to keep hold of for the time being. I'm going to cast some spells, so I'm going to cast Regrowth with the Tree Lord Ancient on the Tree Lord, hopefully. So this goes off on a 5, 7.
Try and stop it with the Herald. Yep.
Oh, that's disastrous. So that's the only spell you can cast, and it also means that I don't get to benefit from the Gnarlroot trait to heal up the Kurnoth Hunters. Okay, so I'm going to move the Dryads onto the objective. to cap this. The only other movement I've got is to move the Tree Lord Ancient round to try and get a charge off on the chariot.
Jay is taking no chances with this 1 wound left chariot. Everything is going in.
Yeah, this is basically the game for me now, because if that chariot survives this turn, it's running off and summoning a Keeper of Secrets or something in turn 5. Okay, so my Tree Lord Ancient is going to shoot first. He still gets his 5 attacks, but because he's so badly wounded, he's only hitting on 4s now. He's still re-rolling 1s from the Null route benefit though. So he's got 1 hit and a re-roll. 2 hits, wounded on 3s, 2 wounds at Ren -1.
Ren -1, so that's a 5+ save. Can the chariot survive? No, it can't. It is dead.
Nice one, Tree Lords. You should have finished that one off. The Tree Lord Ancient then is going to use his Doom Tendril Staff, so he gets 1 attack. It's hitting on a 2. This is on the chariot that's just appeared in the back there. So hits on a 2. It's hit. It's wounding on a 3. It's wounded at Ren -1. Unfortunately, you're closer than 12 inches, otherwise it would be Ren -2.
So 5+ save. It doesn't make it.
D6 damage. How many wounds does it have?
6 wounds.
No, only 2 damage. Okay, so we've got to kill that last demon engine over there, that last chariot. So I'm going to attempt to charge with every Sylvaneth unit I have. So the Tree Lord Ancient is going to try and go... No, the Tree Lord's going to try and go in first. So he needs an 8. 7, not done it. The Kurnoth Hunters are going to try and go in. They need a 10. Oh, they've done it on a 10. And lastly, my Tree Lord Ancient is going to try and go in, and he also needs a 10. He rolled a double 1. I've got 1 command point left, which I'm going to save. Okay then, so it's only the Kurnoth Hunters in range here, so they get 3 attacks each. One of them's a Hunt's Master, so he's hitting on 2s. So we do the regular Kurnoth first, hitting on 3s. I'm outside the 12-inch bubble now, so these are just no rerolls for these. So 2 hits, and then 3 hits hitting on 2s for the Hunt's Master. So just 4 hits in total. They're wounding on 3s. So that's 3 wounds at -2 rend.
It gives me a 6+ save. Come on, you need to do this. Save one of them. You might not kill it.
D3 damage each. 3, 4, 5.
Yep, takes down the demon. And with that, the Slaanesh forces disappear back into the warp.
Okay, so that's the end of my turn 4. I get 3 points for going second, so that puts me on 5 points now.
Yeah, 5 points to 1. The Slaanesh forces are gone, so Jay gets the game at the end of turn 4. Okay, so at the end of the game, absolutely battered by the Sylvaneth there. I think I had some unlucky moments. The chariot should have done a lot better turn 2.
That chariot turn 2, the Tree Lord Ancient should have been dead. Should have been Sawdust.
Should have been Sawdust. Yeah, we got the depravity a little. I think I got a few more depravity than I should have, because it's only wounds that don't kill you that grant it.
Yeah, the Revenants and Dryads, even though they look like they've got 2 wounds each because they're on the bigger bases, it's just 1 wound apiece.
Yeah, so I don't think I would have been able to summon that chariot at the end of the game. I mean, it didn't make the charge anyway, so it didn't make much of a difference. No. Yeah, what do you think of the new Sylvaneth book then after that?
I really enjoyed using them. Any fears you've got about mobility, no need to worry about that. We got the Wirewolves down on the board, and I was on both sides of the battlefield. I was able to keep up to claim the objectives of your Slaanesh, and Slaanesh are one of the fastest armies in the game. Also, I had a tactic of trying to go second as often as I could, because the Gnarlroot Glade, they take the damage in the turn and then heal up ready for the next turn, and you want to avoid those double turns really. I don't think any of us got hit with a double turn.
No, we didn't, no, and like you say, you don't really want it, because in this one you get the 3 points for going second anyway.
Yeah, I think I did have to take the first turn a couple of times though, just to take advantage of the situation that, on the tabletop at that point.
Well, at the start of the game, if you can limit those multi-charges from the chariot, they did a lot of damage towards the end. If I'd have managed, I think you managed to block this quite well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd have probably done similar here, and then it might have been a different story.
Yeah. Talking of the end of spell, the Glade Worm here looks a bit like Ravenok's Jaws. Didn't really do much. And I did have a concern about this one when I was looking at the War Scroll, because the Sylvaneth are a very mobile army, and this can only move 8 inches, and you have to get it within 1 inch of a unit, and then it only goes off on a 3+. There's a chance that doesn't do anything for the whole game. I'm wondering whether that's 30 points well spent or not. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's such a mobile army.
I had a similar problem with mine, where you kind of outrun it.
Yeah.
I think the Mirror is a better choice for them, but I think that's slightly more points. But yeah, it was fun to use these. I've not used Slaanesh much in the past, so new armies for both of us. Two very fast armies as well.
Really fast armies, and yeah, you could see that through the game, couldn't you?
Awesome. Well, thanks for the game, and yeah, we'll be back with more battle reports soon. Keep rolling, it's fine. Oh, that's an arm. What's that from?
Don't worry, I'm not worried, it's harmless.
It's harmless.
Killer.